Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Mark Hudson, also hopefully one day known as Dr. Juggles, and this video is going to talk about the dilemmas, or rather trilemmas, that people in charge of energy policy face when trying to deal with climate change. Now you can see that I'm juggling three balls, and juggling is a nice metaphor for what policymakers, politicians, civil servants have to do, because they never just have to keep one ball in the air. There's always three, and as we'll see at the end of this talk, there's often 4 or 5 or 10, but I'm not going to try and juggle 10 balls because I can't even juggle 3. Everyone knows that I planned that collision that just happened. Oh yes, and if you believe that, I have a bridge in Sydney that I want to sell you. Right, so when it comes to energy, over the last 20-30 years, there have really been 3 balls that policymakers have been needing to keep in the air. One is simply security of supply, because if the lights go out and the factories shut down and the hospitals have to rely on their generators, then everyone gets nervous, investors, employers, employees, and the economy doesn't like it. And we have folk memories of individual blackouts happening, and everyone's still talking about them for years afterwards. You've got to keep the lights on if you're a politician, because otherwise people vote you out. Tends to be the case. But of course, reliable electricity also has to be affordable, as everyone is finding out at the minute. We got our gas bill the other day, or we got the indicative bill, and like everyone else, we're talking about going up from £300 to £500 to £600, and where does it end? So, we've got to keep at least 2 balls in the air, but wait, there's this thing called climate change, and that's the decarbonisation ball. So, it's nice to think that all we had to do was keep 2 balls in the air, but that's not the real world. Because if we don't keep this ball in the air, the decarbonisation, then climate change just gets worse and worse, and future generations will curse us. Now, the metaphor that I'm using right now is not perfect, because although the balls are more or less the same size, it's relatively easy to guide them in different ways. But what's happening in the real world, if this metaphor were accurate, is people would be hurling different sized balls of different weight and different shape at me. I would be blindfolded, I would be standing on a wobble board, and it would all be chaos. So what I'm trying to say is that there are no simple solutions. You can make nice simple patterns, but the reality is that you'd need to be much better juggler than I am to explain what's going on. But I'm going to give it a go. So, 3 balls. Yep, can do that. Let's try 4 balls. So, 4 balls would be us dealing with not just energy security and price and carbon dioxide, but also all of the other environmental problems that come along. Because of course you can decarbonise, you can juggle the 3 balls by planting wind turbines everywhere and kill a lot of bird life, or use solar panels that come from lithium mines, batteries that come from lithium mines in Bolivia, and not actually make things better. So I would argue that if we're really going to use juggling as an analogy for getting out of the energy trilemma or quadrilemma, we need to add a 4th ball, and you're not allowed to laugh at me when I'm unable to keep the 4 balls in the air. Except, of course, you can, because you're watching this and I'm not watching you. So, this is what we're talking about in levels of complexity. Thank you.